is a review of Night Callers for Sunday, July 4th, 2010, Independence Day, 234th birthday of America. Woohoo! Anyway, it was a great show. The guests were actually Laurie Phillips and Luke Gross, two of the founders of Night Callers. And they were interviewed by Laurie's daughter, Lauren McGrory, the Link Dudette. What's up, Lauren? Good to see you, hon. And JB. And Lauren and JB asked Luke and Laurie some really good questions about their field research and some of the things that they have seen and found in the field, some of the methods that they've used in the field and things like that. There was quite a bit of talk about some of the interesting anomalies that Luke and Laurie have experienced in the field. Laurie kind of likened her experiences to something spiritual. Her Sasquatch experiences. Luke kind of took a more pragmatic approach, but Luke, interestingly enough, said that when he first started in his research, he was actually convinced that it was 100% ape, referring to what Sasquatch is, and he's not so sure anymore. He's really not so sure. He thinks it's possibly more human-like. And Laurie is very open-minded to different anomalies within the Sasquatch field. She's open-minded to the possibility of telepathic communication, and that's going to be controversial. That is going to be quite controversial. Well, heck, it already is. But anyway, Laurie, she says that she's never attempted the psychic communication, as she called it. But she knows people who have experienced that particular phenomenon. And there were several questions asked from the chat room by various folks. And then I called in, and I had a really good discussion with Laurie and Luke. I asked them, my basic question to them was, what sort of things have they done as far as, since they've begun researching, how have they changed in their research, as far as how have they changed some of their research tactics? And what caused them to make that full 180-degree turn? Or have they ever experienced anything in the field, in their research, that caused them to turn a full 180 degrees? And they said that there were things that, well, Luke kind of broke it down as, you can't do the same thing all the time if you're not getting results. And so he says that there are things that he tries, there are different things that he will try. Same thing with Laurie, she'll try the same things. And I found that to be quite interesting and revealing, that they do try different things, that they don't stick to the same methods and things like that. And that's always encouraging. That's always a very encouraging thing when, let's say, if you're trying something and it doesn't work, you try something else. You try something different. And that's always good. And I commend Luke and Laurie for that, by the way. I really do. I think it's a great thing. Thumbs up. Oh, and footers in the field. Lauren did a great footers in the field. She's been focusing a lot on the classic Sasquatch stories. Tonight was the third installment. It's actually a two-parter. Tonight was part one of the Albert Ostman story. And Lauren said she actually got the information and read off the actual text of the story from John Green's classic Sasquatch the Apes Among Us. So, a really terrific footers. It was really great. And for those who are not familiar with the Albert Ostman story, although I don't see how there could be any squatchers who aren't familiar with the Albert Ostman story, I would recommend listening to this. Listening to the archives of part one, and then listen to part two next week. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Or, of course, you can always You can go online to, I believe it's BigfootEncounters.com has that story, has the Albert Osmond account. And if you like to read, I would recommend John Green's Sasquatch Thieves Among Us, because that's where the full text came from of the story, or the text of the Osmond story. And it's just a great book. It's just a great book, period. I may not agree with all the conclusions in John Green's book, but the man can write a great tome, and it's one of the best books. It is the best book on the subject, I think. Anyway, as I've said, next week is part 2 of that Footers in the Field segment on the Albert Osmond story. Next week, Laurie, Luke, Lauren, and JB will be back with Billy Willard from Sasquatch Watcher, Virginia, and a fellow named Jason Wyrick, who I believe is from the West Virginia Bigfoot Investigation Group. Yeah. Of course, Billy, we all know, is from Sasquatch Watcher, Virginia. And I do plan on listening and supporting my friend Billy, my good friend Billy Willard. And by the way, Billy's been through some hell here lately with some bloggers and some news reports and things like that. And I think we need to stand behind Billy. I think Billy's doing great things for the Sasquatch research, and I give a big thumbs up to Billy Willard. Billy, you the man. Anyway, the show will begin next week, next Sunday night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, www.blogtalkradio.com/nightcallers. And as always, we do encourage you to please tune in and support great research.